that consistent climb in revenue and scalability in your business. So let's dig into a quad marketing calendar, okay? Because it has to do with both internal and external constraints to your business. Now, guys, the no-brainer of course is a marketing calendar that attracts new patients into your business, okay? So when I think of a quad marketing calendar, you really want to break it up into 4 quadrants, okay? And the top left one that is very obvious that everyone generally is thinking about and even potentially working on is leads, right? Or new patients. Get new patients in the door. So that's on the top left side of your marketing calendar. And of course, you want to have that really planned out, laid out, and strategized. Now, below that, again, is another given, which is your existing patients, okay? And you need to be marketing them as well. And that has a different strategy than leads or new patients, okay? So on the left side of your quadrant, on the top, you have leads and new patients. Below that, you have existing patients. And you need to be marketing and speaking to them regularly. You need to be re-engaging them to come back in, to increase the number of visits per year, to increase the revenue per hour. And you need to be really thoughtful about that because, guys, it costs way less money to get an existing patient to spend more money, to increase number of visits per year than it does to acquire a new patient. Okay, so you need to be really thoughtful, planning strategic on how to market not only to just leads and new patients, right, but also your existing patients as well. Okay, so that's a no-brainer that many people are working on those 2 segments or constraints in your business, right? Like, oh, I want to grow, I want new patients. Oh, I want to grow, I'm going to have my current existing patients spend more money with me, come in more times, right? That's a given. That's an obvious one. But there are additional constraints that I see every single day in med spas that we don't really think about as much, that we don't plan and strategize as much, that we're much more reactionary. That is absolutely an important piece of the quad marketing equation, okay? And so what I'm talking about now on the right side of the quad marketing is at the top right is candidates, recruits, potential employees. Because what you don't want to do is wait until you're desperate to hire someone. Someone quit, someone got fired, right? Whatever, and now we're desperate. Right. And so now we're not making as good of decisions. Now we're taking just whatever we can get. We're taking that warm body. Right. And that is not a good strategy in building a team and building a company and building culture that you're going to be excited to go to work every day and be engaged with your team. Right. And so on the top right is candidates, recruiting. What that hire, you need to be marketing, right, to attract that top talent to your business. Because if you've been in business at any length of time and have, 1 or more employees, then you'll know that, life happens, things change, people grow, evolve, want different things, have different opportunities, or frankly, just don't work out. And so you have to be constantly marketing to candidates and recruiting, right? Because what you don't want to do is lose out on revenue, right? Or create fires in your business because you didn't hire the right people, because you just weren't filling your pipeline enough with a good enough candidates to be able to make a really good decision. So the 4th constraint, right, that we often see in a med spa, that we often see not really paying close attention to, and when you look at the quad marketing equation, on the bottom right is employees, okay? So And if you, and I'm sorry I don't have a visual for this, I'm happy to share a follow-up of this visual. So on the top left, you have leads and new patients, and then existing patients below it. On the right, you have recruiting candidates and potential employees. And then on the bottom right, you have employees. And you might say, well, if I have an employees, why do I have to market to them? And what I mean by that is that you need for your employees to drink the Kool-Aid, right? They need to be bought into your mission, your vision, your core values. That's going to give you a better result with your patients at the end of the day. Everyone's speaking the same language. Everyone is on the same page. And you have to make a concentrated effort, right, to be able to communicate and market and sell to your employees what that vision is, what those core values are, right? Building that culture and that team. Because we see this all the time of, marketing really hard to get new patients, to re-engage past patients to come in, right? Those are levers that we can turn off and on and increase and bump up with ad spend or extra messaging and text and videos and all that, right? But at the end of the day, if we don't have a team that is really creating, that luxury 5-star experience, consultation, conversion, and rebooking at the end of the day, right? You're not truly going to get the true potential or result that you could get if you didn't, right? And so that's why it's absolutely imperative that when you are looking at your marketing, that you're not just looking at new patients, that you're not just looking at existing patients, right? And focusing all your efforts there. Guys, you got to be marketing to your team. You got to be marketing to potential employees in the future. And when you have all 4 of those segments working for you at all times, it's never ending, right? Because otherwise what happens is, like, if your marketing really takes off and you get all these new patients in the door, well then guys, you need more candidates, right? And if you bring these great candidates in and then you're not marketing to your existing employees, then they're not doing as good a job as they possibly could with your patients coming in or your existing patients, right? So now all of a sudden your average revenue per hour isn't what you want it to be. Now all of a sudden your Google reviews are slipping a little bit. Now all of a sudden you're rebooking your average revenue per hour is just not what you want it to be, right? And so that's when you see these peaks and then valleys in your business. But when you make a concentrated effort to make sure that you're firing all cylinders, that you are marketing, using and implementing the quad marketing strategy to new patients, to existing patients, to potential employees or recruits, right? And then finally to your employees as well, that's when you are really going to see just boom, 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 right? Instead of this roller coaster. And we've all been on that roller coaster, and it's not fun. It's not fun. And so when those things happen, right, the best med spas are able to recognize that sooner than later, right? And then to look at their quad marketing and see, okay, where's the constraint being put on my business right now, right? Is it employees, right? Do I need to spend more time with my employees? Is it recruits, right? Do I need to fill that pipeline so I'm able to choose between top talent and not just take what I can get, right? Is it doing more with what I have with our existing patients to increase revenue per hour, rebooking rates, our membership, right? Sales events, all of that. Or is it getting new patients in the door, right? And so you got to pay attention to all 4 of those constraints in your business. Apply the quad marketing calendar, and I promise you, you will see it take your med spa to new heights. So, okay, guys, I'm going to open up the floor to questions now, if you have any. But I hope this gave you some perspective, right? That marketing is just so much more than just to new patients. It's so much more than just to existing patients. And it's so much more than just like putting a job posting, right? And seeing what you can get for candidates. And hiring someone and training them and then, leaving them be, right? It's a never-ending effort to apply the quad marketing principles that's not only going to get you to where you want to be in your med spa, but to continue to grow, to evolve, to build the culture, the team, and the med spa of your dreams. And I promise you, if you apply this quad marketing calendar strategy into your business, you're going to see a game changer, right? Because you're going to see that when you invest more on the front end, get new patients in, you're going to see a better return on investment, because when you've invested more energy into your employees and they really get what you're after in the patient experience and the consultation and conversion process, now pretty soon you're just not swapping marketing dollars for new patients, but you are getting a great return on investment from those marketing dollars off the front end, right? And with your existing patients as well, right? Those efforts of creating content and doing events and sending emails, newsletters, right? It just doesn't feel like activity, but that is really generating you a good return on investment. You're converting existing patients to be more loyal, to do more comprehensive combination treatment plans. And that's what you get when you invest more in your existing patients as well. And then when you invest in efforts in your recruiting process and not just waiting until it's needed and being reactionary, and not just throwing up a job posting that's generic, right? And not being really clear with who you want on your team, what that person looks like, as far as those core values, those attributes that you can't teach someone at the end of the day. And then continuing to invest in the personal and professional development of your team so that you truly have people that understand your mission, your vision, your core values, and live and breathe by them. And that's the culture and team that you want to go to work with every single day to create that luxury 5-star patient experience. And when you have all 4 of those things firing in your quad marketing calendar, it's going to take your business to new heights. So I hope that you found this helpful. Start thinking about trying to identify the one constraint in your business when looking at the quad marketing calendar, and where you really want to focus those efforts right now that you believe is your greatest opportunity to grow your med spa, or potentially the greatest vulnerability that's preventing you from really getting the growth that you are looking for. And make an effort to grow that potential constraint in your quad marketing calendar, and just get a little bit better every single month, every single year, before you have those things like clockwork going for you on all cylinders. So I hope you found this training helpful. If you did, please make sure that you share it with your team or another med spa that could benefit and grow. And you can access this training, catch the replay on YouTube, and catch me every single week, same time, same place, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.